Hi, I'm Paul Bates. I'm the coach for the Townsend debate team. Today we are gathered to argue the motion, ban boxing. On my right is the proposition, on my left is the opposition. These folks are all middle school debaters. They've been debating either 1 or 2 years. Having said all that, let's get going.
Hi, welcome. I'm Chloe Staub, representing the House today for the topic, ban boxing. Boxing is defined as a sport that is merely a legalized way of attacking another person with the intent of punching the other person to the ground until they cannot get up again to fight even more. On what moral levels do we allow this to happen? To let men and women stand toe-to-toe, fighting the other person, hitting them until, well, they get knocked out, or until they're not able to fight anymore. See, while other sports may have the goal of getting the ball to the other side in football, and as a side occurrence, they may tackle a few people, in boxing, their only goal is to knock the other person down to the ground. While this is one of the only sports that actually allows hits into the head, but this sport, more so than allowing it, encourages blows to the head, because it encourages it by, well, I got knocked down the other person. How do I do that? I'll knock the person out in the head. That sounds great. So instead we're teaching people that, oh, we should hit people in the head. We should be able to do this. So the opposition may say that these people are physically fit. Well, how long are these people physically fit for? Sure, in the beginning, they are fit. But in the long term, after fighting 10 years of fights, then they'll receive Parkinson's-like symptoms, such as Muhammad Ali. Or, to my next point, second impact syndrome. Second impact syndrome is a condition where the damage inflicted on a person based on a single impact is increased. Many fold upon the second hit, forcing the brain to swell, causing severe damage. So, the damage here is second impact syndrome. What happens here is that instead of just getting hit the first time, the second time you get hurt, it's even worse. No thank you. It's somewhat like being in a car that's moving. What's happening here is that the brain is the passenger inside the car. When you get hit, your body stops, but your brain keeps on moving forward, showing that Newton's first law in effect. Too bad, unlike a car, the brain does not have seatbelts. Yes.
Isn't it true, if it was so bad and so horrible and all these things are happening to these boxers, then why does it continue to thrive? It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Why does it so continue to be so prosperous?
Actually, boxing has gone down in popularity. For example, the British Medical Association and the Australian Medical Association are thoroughly considering banning boxing, as well as bodies internationally. Norway and Sweden have already banned boxing because they realize the harm. The harm here is that crime occurs with boxing, and yet Norway and Sweden have less crime than the United States, showing that banning boxing will indeed reduce crime. Why will it reduce crime? No thank you. Because if this actually occurred on a street corner, there'd be no referees, there'd be no one there, because they've been influenced by boxing, watching it. Oh, you know what? I can commit it in the real world because I want to be fit. Ooh, I'm going to be a legend if I become a great boxer. No, thank you. See, if this happened on the street corner, the people would be arrested. The people would be persecuted. The people would be, they would have so much, the rest of their lives would be basically finished because of what they have done. So it's kind of a hypocritical way. Oh, you can do it when you're in the ring when there's some safety, which the opposition may bring up, there's safety from referees. Well, that didn't protect Pete Scotland, a boxer who died in June of 2001, leaving behind a family, 3 children and a wife, and, well, $7,000. Sure, woohoo, $7,000. That doesn't matter because these kids will never have anyone to call their father. So if we ban boxing now, then less people in effect will be hurt. Less people will die. Less people will have bad symptoms such as Parkinson's disease. If we stop it now, violence will be eliminated because people are not looking up to boxing. They're not saying, oh, that sounds cool. They're being brainwashed by watching this television with boxers, and then they go on the corner and commit the crime. Also, boxing is barbaric. as I stated earlier, letting men and women stand toe-to-toe, beating the living daylights out of each other. We don't accept that in normal society, but when it's in a ring and it's on television, it's suddenly okay. If it's eliminated, better life for all. I mean, I would love it. See so many people, their moms or their dads are being injured. It would harm me so much if that, when my dad was in his 40s, he could barely speak. He could barely hold a menial job. Look how it affects me in the long run. Look how it affects my family. Look how it affects society as a whole because he couldn't get a job. And also, crime will be down. For all these reasons and many more, the House wins. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brendan Rivera, and I'm here on the motion ban boxing on the opposition side. I'd like to start by refuting some of my opponent's points. She stated, how is this possibly moral? You know, how can we let these people bang the living daylights out of each other? Well, this is a sport, a well-respected sport. You know, we compete this in the Olympics, one of the world's history's greater respected events. You know, it's just a menial sport. Yet, when somebody on the football field gets hurt because he got hit too hard, or when somebody on the hockey rink gets in a fight, you don't hear about it like when somebody gets hurt in boxing. Why? Because the intention is direct in boxing, but in other sports, it's the subconscious thinking. As she stated earlier, boxing is the only sport where hitting is allowed in the head, and it's encouraged to do that because you have to knock out your opponent. Well, of course, but look at hockey, look at soccer, look at football. The subconscious thought, you know, the guy has the ball in his hand. No, not right now, please. And, you know, you need to get the ball. Well, of course, you have to hit the guy. In hockey, he has the puck. I have to check him to get the puck away from his stick. You know, these are all subconscious thoughts, yes?
Yes, but there are penalties in hockey, football, and soccer. Are there penalties in boxing?
Yes, there is, actually. If you get 3 low blows or 3 hard shots, they get you out. And you automatically lose the match. Yes?
But isn't it harmful if that person is dead before those 3 shots are up? I mean, how can we allow these many penalties to rack up and rack up? These people are going to be dead in effect.
You know, you make it sound like this is some barbaric gladiator fight when it's really not. There are medics in every corner. You have a break for a minute every 3 minutes. No, not at this time. You have people in your corner. Medics are constantly checking up on you to see if you can still go on. This is not some sort of barbaric fight. As I stated earlier, this is a sport. She stated, how long are these people fit for? Well, does it really matter? How many boxers do you know that they're 45 and they're still boxing with some huge 20-year-old? Not many, because they make so much money that they're able to retire at an early age. And you know what? As she stated, they are fit. This promotes good health for our children when they see this. For the men and in their living rooms, this promotes, they see, wow, this really fit guy can take those blows. Maybe I should get that fit. Maybe my life would change. Yes?
Wouldn't you rather show children out there that it's better to use words instead of violence? Because in boxing, they're not using their head. They're only using their physical attributes, which is harmful to today's society.
As I stated earlier, this is a sport. What do you see right after the match? These boxers come up to each other, you know, fight well done. You're a good friend. These are not rivalries. This is not an overdrawn soap opera like wrestling, no, not at this time. This is a sport. It's just like soccer. It's just like hockey. It's just like football. It's just a sport. They stated how Norway and Sweden banned this and how many associations are moving to ban this. Well, clearly, when you try to ban something, you obviously don't know much about it. Look at Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali. You know, his daughter, he has as associated second impact syndrome. Yet his daughter, knowing what she's going to get into herself, she's going for her career. Bacha Camacho, no, not this time, a successful boxer, his son's getting into the career. You know, there's a repetitive pattern showing that, you know, even though these people know what they're getting into, not at this time, they're still going after it. She stated, if this occurred in a street corner, this person will get arrested. Well, you know, it wouldn't occur. Okay, let's put it into another perspective. If when the guy, if you saw in a recent match in hockey, came up behind the guy, slashed him, bashed his face into the ice, and he had to be in the hospital for a few weeks. If that would have happened in the street corner, he would get arrested. If you trip somebody on the street, like if you trip somebody in soccer, you would get arrested. If you flip somebody over your head like you do in football, you would get arrested. These are sports. Sports are meant for competition. You don't go out and box somebody on the street. It's a sport. Shuster State beat Scotland, that he died and left his wife and 3 children. He did this for his family. He had no alternative coming from a lower class family and figured boxing was the way. He provided for his family while boxing. Yes, he left them and only with $700, but imagine how proud his family is of him, that he was able to support them for the time. You know, it is a shame that he died and everything, but imagine, isn't it a shame that right now we're in Iraq? No, not that many people see it that way. For the people who die in Iraq, they're heroes. My name is Brandon Rivera, and please vote for the opposition.
Hi, I'm Chandler for the proposition side of band boxing. The opposition team said that Muhammad Ali, his daughter, is going after it for her career, even though she knows what's going to happen. By banning boxing, she won't feel the pressure to have to go after boxing. She won't feel like she has to be like her father, and she won't be in the situation that he is right now, where he has Parkinson's-like symptoms, and he's in such a bad health condition, and it's because of boxing, and banning it will get rid of this. And they said that he makes so much money, but in fact, Sports Illustrated found that professional boxers are the most exploited and abused athletes of any sport, and the vast majority of them they make little or no money, but virtually all boxers sustain serious injuries capable of a lifelong tragedy. So barely any of them make any money. So that makes no sense to say that they make so much money, and that even if they die, their family is still proud of them. Their family doesn't even have him. They don't have anything to show for it, and $7,000, that has nothing to show for it. As beat Scotland, left his family due to boxing. By banning boxing, we won't have situations like this. How many beat Scotlands is it going to take until we realize that boxing should be banned? It's ridiculous that it's allowed, because if we saw this on the street corner, a policeman would have to arrest the people that are doing this. But just because it's in a ring and it's on TV, does it make it okay? It does not. So that's why it needs to be boxing, because it's hypocritical to say that it's all right to do it in a ring, but it's not okay to do it out on the street. Yes.
Well, in the ring, there's many medics and assistants all over the place. It's so much more advanced and so much safer in a ring than it is on the street corner. So it's
yes, but everybody that sees it on TV, they might not necessarily be fit enough or be able to go box. So that's why they do it out on the street corner, and that's what gets them in the situation where they're unhealthy. Not at this time. They also said that it's a well-respected sport and that it's in the Olympics. But just because slavery, or that it's a tradition. Slavery was a tradition. That doesn't make it okay. And they said that you don't hear about that many injuries in football, but you hear about it, people getting hurt in boxing. Exactly, that's proving our point, because more people get hurt in boxing and more lives are lost, and that's why we should ban it. Yes.
You stated that so many people are getting hurt in boxing. Well, let's think if it was banned and you put it underground, think about all that harm and times it by at least 100.
Okay, well, so you're saying if we ban boxing, it's going to go down. Well, cigarettes are illegal just because it's going to happen. Yeah, people are still, not cigarettes, but when things are illegal, murder's illegal, but are we supposed to legalize it just because it's still going to happen? No. So banning it is going to decrease it, and that's what matters. Not at this time. By banning boxing, crime will go down. Crimes such as illegal betting and gambling, not at this time. People gamble illegally due to boxing, and violence will go down because this is a barbaric sport. It shouldn't even be considered a sport, because if it's not in that ring, then it's considered a crime. Yes.
Maybe instead of looking at boxing, maybe we should look at the video games our children get a hold of. Backyard wrestling, rated M for mature. What kind of grown man's gonna go buy that?
Well, that's irrelevant because the topic is banned boxing, but either way, people watching it, playing on a video game or watching it, it causes harm and it causes children and people in our society to want to copy them and want to be like them. Yes.
You said it was a barbaric sport and stuff like that. It's in the Olympics. The Olympic is prestigious and honorable. How can you possibly say it's barbaric when these people are glorified and these people are legends?
It's barbaric because lives are lost. The most lives are lost from this, and people have nothing. There's nothing to show for it. And as Sports Illustrated found, barely any money is made from this. Also, they said that they have breaks and there's medics. Is that why Beat Scotland died? I'm sure there were medics when he was boxing, but still he lost his life and leaving a wife and 3 children behind. So also, second impact syndrome, a condition where the damage inflicted on a person based on a single impact is increased, and that causes severe brain damage. Just like Muhammad Ali, he's suffering from Parkinson's like symptoms, even though he was known as someone who was a specialist in protecting himself. That's ridiculous. So yeah, people can be professionals and it could be a legend, but if people are, it's causing lives to be lost and people to want to be like them. It teaches that violence is acceptable and that it's entertaining. And just like Lionel Tate killing a 6-year-old child after watching combat movies, so that is why boxing should be there.
My name is Kevin O'Connell, and I think it's all clear to everyone that we should ban wrestling. They just brought up the point about Lionel Tate. Lionel Tate was looking at wrestling moves and performed wrestling moves on that little girl that he killed. So that is completely irrelevant to ban boxing, and so that's why that point should be thrown out, Judge. I'd like to go off, and one of the biggest points of this debate, underground boxing. Okay, let's say everything they say is true. The second impact syndrome, all these people are getting killed, like Beat Scotland. You know how many more Beat Scotlands there will be if we ban boxing? This goes underground. People are doing it in their garage without gloves, without the medics, punches and blows to the face, triple, tenfold amounts of more injuries and things, and that is what we want to do. They say it's gonna decrease violence if we ban it. It's gonna increase violence. It's gonna increase illegal gambling and stuff like that. Yes.
You brought up how if we legalize it, then it'll go underground. Well, so should we allow drugs, illegal drugs, to be out there because people are going to use it anyway, so we'd rather them use it in front of the public? No. What our goal here is to tell people that boxing is wrong, because it is proven over and over again by the examples such as Beat Scotland.
There's no good, clean, safe way to do drugs. There's no clean, safe way to do murder. There is a clean, safe way to do boxing, and that is what we're doing in the Olympics and all over the world. That is what we're doing. And by banning it, you're making it horrible, and you're taking the honorable part of it. You're taking all the safety out of boxing, and you're creating this murderous acts, yes?
You just stated that boxing was honorable, but back in the day, Gladiator was honorable, wasn't it? Was it not? And it did so much harm, so much damage. People were killed, and people are killed in boxing today. Do you see the effect?
Gladiator matches were in the ancient Roman times. Gladiators weren't even glorified. They were slaves that they took from war and made them fight against the other warriors to be slain. Roman times are kind of interesting because they were all corrupt. Everything. We're not talking about wrestling, gladiator matches. We're talking about the honorable sport of boxing. And by sending it underground, you're taking all the honor and the safety out of it, and you're creating this horrible, murderous thing. It's not even a sport anymore. It's an illegal act, and so many people are gonna get killed and hurt and maimed. And it's a yes.
If doing it on a street corner underground is illegal, then how can we say it's right to do it in a ring?
Because in a ring of medics, you have all these different kind of acts, like the Muhammad Ali Act and the Boxing Reform Act, that have made it safer and more prestigious and honorable to do it in a ring. In the corner, you don't have the gloves, you don't have the medics. That is why boxing is honorable and a ring, yes?
But it's proven over and over again that these medics don't help. Look at the myriads of men who have died. Look at Beat Scotland. Look at the people around him, how they have been affected. So even if there are medics, it may not always work. Boxing is not safe enough, therefore it should be banned.
The medics may not always work, but don't you think it's better to have medics than no medics at all? I mean, these medics have to do some help. Why would they have them if they're not doing anything? It's better to have the safety and the honor of boxing than have it go underground. This is a multi-billion-dollar empire. You're just gonna tackle it to the ground. Many people are gonna lose their jobs, and they're not gonna have to go underground betting. It's just gonna be a fiasco. Yes.
So these billions of dollars worth every life that's lost?
These billions of dollars are worth all the lives that will be lost if it was to go underground. There's gonna be tenfolds of Beat Scotland. You're not even gonna know their names because it's gonna be underground. People are gonna be losing their lives right and left. It's gonna be punched into the ground, bare-fisted, no medics. It's gonna be illegal gambling. It's gonna be like the mafia all over again. For all those reasons, you should vote for the opposition because it's clear that ban boxing would be way worse than having boxing right now. Thank you.
Valerie Appling for opposition. Judge, now look. What we're arguing here today is what would happen if we do ban boxing. Here's what would happen. Let me lay it out for you. Let me scope it out for 5 years. Everything would go underground. Black market of drugs, this would be the black market of boxing. No more safety. No more medics. No more refs. Or let me say it. No more fair refs. No more trained refs. No more breaks in between every 3 minutes. No more gloves. No more above the waist hits. Nothing. Everything would be a free-for-all. It would be, okay, you hit me as hard as you can. You know, everyone else on the side is cheering because they have $50,000 on you, or they have 10 grand on you, or 6 G's, whatever you want to call it. But this is what's going to happen, inevitably, if you go with the proposition side. We win this debate for these reasons alone. Okay, they stated that there's long-term diseases, Parkinson's, second impact syndrome, British Australia Medical Association, Norway, and everything. That all concludes to the underground idea. Everything will move. There will be no more street corners. There will be no more police officers to stop this. There will be no more. There will be no more safety. Let me put it this way: wouldn't you rather have be in a boxing match where there's safety, where the audience, you as an audience member, can sit outside and be as safe as watching an opera, than be on the sidelines and you could get hit too and go into a big mob and a big fiasco and everything. Beat Scotland, Muhammad Ali, there would be tens of thousands of them. Along with Norway and Sweden, how they eliminated the boxing, the banned boxing, and now less crime is there. How do they know? How do those police officers really know that there is less crime if it's underground? If they don't know if someone died, I mean, people cover up murders all the time. This would really be legalizing murder. Now, what we're trying to say is leave it. Leave boxing. Do not ban it, because if you do, this is what's going to happen. You're not going to have the safety. Look, in hockey and soccer and football, how do you get the ball? You try and hit the other person. In football, you try and tackle. It's like, how am I going to get the football across the other line? Well, I'll tackle this guy, smack his head into the ground, and then steal the ball, and then probably get smacked in the head again by the same guy. Does that make any sense? Also, there's the wrestling thing with, they say it's Lionel Tate. Wrestling is a macho soap opera. Everything's staged. So Lionel Tate worked off a staged production. That's like going, to the Matrix and say, oh, I can do the Matrix now. Watch me do this flip backwards and crack your head open. It's a respected sport. Boxing has been around since the 1700s. It has been legalized. It has been regulated through the Muhammad Ali Act, which ensures safety for all the boxers, which would be gone if we banned boxing. And it ensures the safety. That's all it does. And if we leave it now, we have all this safety, we have the precautions, we have everything we need. If you go with proposition, if you vote for these propositions, this will not happen, and inevitably everyone will become more endangered. For these reasons, please vote for the opposition.
Hi, I'm Mr. Mayor for the proposition side. First of all, they were talking about other sports and how you slam someone's head to the floor. What is the main goal in football? To score a touchdown. What is the main goal in hockey? To get the ball between the net. I mean, your main goal in boxing is to knock the other person to the ground so they're motionless, so they're not moving, and so they hit the floor. Football, the main goal is to score a touchdown. How many beats gauntlets, Muhammad Ali's, are we going to have? 10, 20, 50, 100? One is too many. One is enough. When are we going to stop this? Also, two of their main points were how it'll go underground and how there will be no safety when it goes underground. Since drugs are underground, are we going to make that legalized? Drugs, marijuana, cocaine, all that is illegal. Since it's all underground, should we make it legalized? I don't think so. They also stated how there's no safety in Norway and Sweden. They're going to go underground and there's going to be more crime. Norway and Sweden, who banned boxing, now have less crime than the U.S. They have less crime than the United States. And this is because they banned boxing. There was no more influence on the children that they have to beat someone's head in. It's just so immoral. They stated how Muhammad Ali's daughter, she fights and she's a boxer. If we ban boxing, she won't follow in her father's footsteps. She won't get Parkinson's disease. She won't have a chance at getting Parkinson's disease. And it's just a win-win situation. You have less crime. You've got better lives for all and everyone. You don't have that one father who's not going to come home to his kids because he died in a boxing match. It's barbaric. It's just like Gladiator, where you shove someone in a little arena and they fight to the death. We stopped Gladiator because it was barbaric. Let's stop boxing. We ban boxing. Look at the scenario. We lower the violence. We have better lives for all, and we have crime down. And that is a fact because look at Norway and Sweden. They ban boxing, and their crime is way down. I mean, look at all the look at all the benefits. Also, on our point about second impact syndrome, they never hit the point on second impact syndrome. That was one of their drop points. Beat Scotland. They stated how he did it all for his family. And now, his family has no Beat Scotland. He's gone. He's dead. He's not living anymore. How is this morally right? And for all these reasons and many more, it's clear that the proposition is one this debate.